Good afternoon, everyone. I know that it's been a little bit of a while since I've done one of these videos for you guys, so I wanted to jump back on, get back in the cycle, especially since I'm going to be traveling next week. So we've got this video, we've got one more, then I'm going to be taking a little bit of a trip, then we'll be back to our normal regularity. So today I wanted to share with you guys a strategy that some of my clients have found really helpful for breaking this internal deadlock. So what normally happens to a lot of people is something happens and they start to get overwhelmed. This stuff piles up, right? So things won't be working at work, and then that'll spill over into a relationship, and then the relationship will start to go bad, and then that'll spill over into some other stuff. And then to take the stress off, they develop some unhealthy habit like smoking or something like that, and things start to pile up. And they're afraid of making certain changes. They feel guilty because they haven't done these other things, right? They have this other stress coming from stuff going on in their relationships, and everything just piles up and people just get overwhelmed. And the normal response from most people who are overwhelmed like that is just to freeze, right? Because everywhere they go, it seems like there's a problem. And so they can't move away from any of their issues without risking something else, right? It's like, oh, I know I should be doing this, but then I feel like crap, and then I go smoke a cigarette or something along those lines. So the trick to get out of this is actually what I call turning demons against each other, right? So in yourself, you have all of these things, and you feel like you have these parts of your mind that are attacking you, right? You feel like this part's attacking you and that part's attacking you. And, you kind of like want to curl up in a mental fetal position. But what you can do is you can actually have them attack each other. And then then you'll actually break the deadlock and you'll get a breakthrough. And I'll give you an example of how I did this with one of my clients. So I had this client, and he owed a lot of people a lot of money because, he was new working with me. His business hadn't been doing great. He owed a lot of money to a lot of people. He felt really guilty about it. On the other hand, he was trying to quit smoking, and he'd tried many times over, 20 or 25 years, and he'd never been able to give it up for the long run. So I said, okay, well, so let's think about this. I said, which of all the stresses in your life, which is the one that's the biggest? And he goes, definitely the financial one. The fact that I owe these other people the money and the guilt involved, he said, that's bigger than anything else. I said, okay, so every time you buy a pack of cigarettes are expensive. How much does a pack of cigarettes cost? And he lived in New York, so a pack of cigarettes was like $12 or something crazy. I said, okay, so, how many packs of cigarettes do you buy? We did the math, right? And it was like, well, you could have already paid off all of these people if you just weren't buying packs of cigarettes. So every time you buy a pack of cigarettes in the future, I want you to think that it's going to take that much longer to pay back whatever their name is. And he was like, oh man, I never thought of it like that. Because now what happens is we've taken the guilt from him, which is his single biggest stress, and we've turned it against the smoking habit, which was something that he wanted to quit. And we've created an association there. So now he would go to get cigarettes, and then he'd be like, I can't, right? Like this, and he actually quit smoking as soon as I taught him that trick. As soon as we made that association that he was violating, that he was causing his own single greatest stress by this one bad habit, he didn't smoke another. So he finished up his pack. That was it. He never bought another pack of cigarettes. And to this day, as best I know, he's never smoked since. Right. And after 20 years of trying to smoke, bam, just like that. So just to break down, the process here, you take a look at some of the things that are causing you stress. You take the single biggest stress and you figure out how one of the other, bad habits or stressors or something in your life, something that you can change, right? How something negative that you're doing is aggravating or amplifying that stress. And then you just make that association and you let your demons fight each other instead of attacking you, and you solve the problem. Okay, guys. Hope you enjoyed the post today. One thing I am going to say, I went on a podcast yesterday. Great, lots of really wonderful information. I am going to be posting a link to that podcast in my Facebook group. So if you are not already a member of the Science of Career Freedom Facebook group, jump on Facebook, join that group. It's free to join. I'll be posting the link to the podcast I did yesterday next week. So a week from tomorrow, I think, is when Victor's going to get me the link. So it was on a podcast called The Zen Stoic. So it's going to be really interesting. It is going to be more on the internal philosophical side, less on the career side. But as those of you who have followed me for a long time know, the two are very much intertwined. And I did my best to kind of, bring up examples and stuff during the podcast. So guys, join that group, be looking for the podcast a week from tomorrow, and I will see you guys in a couple days. Have a wonderful afternoon. Farewell.